Y'all, Tiffany Henyard just hit rock bottom, and she just came out to admit that she's broke as F. Not just that, but she's begging us regular degular folks for money to continue her lavish lifestyle, so it looks like she's gone from throwing money around like it's nothing to straight up begging on GoFundMe. Y'all, we're talking about a woman who spent $199,000 on welcome banners, and now she can't even pay the bill. How messy is this? She used to live like a queen on taxpayer money. We're talking fancy trips, a whole $1 million security team following her around. But that's not all, because it turns out that she also personally allegedly borrowed millions of dollars, put in city infrastructures down as collateral. Y'all, this situation is hot. The tea is coming in like a flood because the creditors are suing Tiffany to get their money back. And it's not looking good from his Henyard or the good people of Dalton. It's a hot mess, and we're just getting started now. Before we get into Tiffany's debts, let's talk about how Tiffany turned taxpayer money into her personal piggy bank. And what if I told you she spent more on welcome banners than some folks in Dalton make in a whole year? Y'all, this is next level crazy. We're talking about a woman who acted like she had a blank check from the city, and y'all, she was not afraid to use it. So let's break it down. Tiffany dropped $99,000 on a welcome banner, $119,000 on banners with her face plastered all over them. Meanwhile, the average household in Dalton is scraping by on less than $30,000 a year. Talk about being out of touch. Yo, she needed to go out and touch some grass and feel how expensive it had gotten. But wait, y'all, it gets worse. While Tiffany was living it up, the town of Dalton was sinking deeper and deeper into debt. We're talking about a place where the fire department hasn't had a contract for a whole 5 years. The people risking their lives to save others can't even get a proper contract. But Miss Thing is over here spending thousands of welcome signs. And let's not forget about her little trips to Vegas while Dalton residents were struggling to make ends meet. Tiffany was allegedly living it up in Sin City, but that's not even the worst of it. She had a whole security detail following her around, costing the village hundreds of thousands of dollars each year, and some of these officers were making over $133,000 in a single pay period just because of overtime. That's more than some people indulge in making 3 or 4 years. All it's like she forgot she was running a town and thought she was some type of celebrity. But here's the thing, celebrities use their own money. Tiffany, she was using taxpayer dollars, though, and now the town can't even pay for his bills. The company that made most those fancy welcome banners, well, they're still waiting on their money. And they're not the only ones, but Tiffany didn't stop at just spending public money. Oh no, she went and took all personal loans too. We're talking millions of dollars here, and now she can't pay it back. It's like she thought the money would never run out. But y'all, it always does. It looks like she's in some big trouble. They're saying Tiffany was living large and the rest of Dalton was falling apart because the police department's vehicles are at risk of being repossessed because the town can't pay its debt. Can you imagine calling 911 and finding out there's no car to come help you, but they done roll their buggies or horse and carriage or got a Uber down in your house? That's the reality Dalton is facing, all because Tiffany couldn't keep her spending in check, allegedly. Y'all, if you thought that Tiffany's spending was wild, wait till you hear about her side hustle. This woman found a way to turn moldy walls into cold hard cash. How long can a mayor go? Tiffany Henyard wasn't just blowing through taxpayer money like it was nothing. No, she was out here pulling some crazy scams too, allegedly. We're talking about Section 8 housing, y'all, you know, the program that's supposed to help low-income people get decent housing. Well, your girl Tiffany allegedly saw dollar signs and decided to cash in. But here's the tea, Tiffany owned this property, right? And she was getting these sweet Section 8 subsidies from the government. But here's the kicker, this place was a straight-up mess. We're talking about severe mold, water damage, whole nine. But did Tiffany care? Allegedly, she didn't. She just kept collecting those checks like everything was fine and dandy. By November 2019, the place was so bad it was declared uninhabitable. And you would think that would be the end of it, right? Wrong again. Tiffany allegedly kept on cashing no section of payments without fixing a thing. Now, you might be wondering, if she did this, how did she get away with it? Well, turns out that there's this thing called inspections. So let me tell you, the inspection history on Tiffany's property is shadier than a palm tree on a beach. It's like she thought she could just ignore all the problems and keep raking in the cash. But here's where it gets real messy. While Tiffany was busy playing slumlord, the folks living in her rental property were suffering. We're talking about people who already don't have much, living in conditions that would make your skin crawl. And all the while, Tiffany's pocketing government money that's meant to ensure these people have a decent place to live. It's just sad and wrong. This isn't just about one moldy apartment, y'all. It's a part of a bigger picture of Tiffany's whole deal as mayor. We're talking financial mismanagement, corruption, allegations, the works. It's like every time you turn over a rock in Dalton, you find another Tiffany Henyard scandal crawling out. But you know what's really got people fired up? It's the fact that Tiffany seems to think she's above it all. She's out here living large, spending taxpayer money on fancy trips and welcome banners while her own tenants are dealing with leaky ceilings and mold. It's like she forgot she's supposed to be serving the people, not herself. Now, you might be wondering what's going to happen with Tiffany. But let me tell you, when you mess with the government's money like that, it usually doesn't end well. We're talking potential legal consequences, investigations, all of that. And with all the other stuff Tiffany's got going on, this Section 8 scandal could be the thing that finally brings her down. But here's the real kicker. While all this was going down, Tiffany was still out here acting like everything was fine. She was still playing mayor, still making decisions for Dalton, all while this Section 8 mess was brewing in the background. It's like she thought she could just sweep it under the rug and no one would notice. But it didn't take long for the FBI to get involved. They're digging deep into her finances, and what they're finding is not pretty. How long before this house of cards comes tumbling down? Because it's getting real messy for Tiffany Henyard. The FBI is not playing around. They've launched a full-blown criminal investigation into her financial dealings. It's just a huge fall from grace. Tiffany going from living large to being under the microscope of the feds. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Though the FBI isn't just taking a quick pick at Tiffany's bank statements, no, they're going all in. They've issued subpoenas for her personal transactions and the financial activities of the whole township. That's right, they're leaving no stone unturned. It's like they're on a mission to uncover every penny Tiffany's ever touched. And what they're finding is juicy. All turns out Tiffany wasn't just splurging on some welcome banners in Vegas trips. The investigation is revealing that she allegedly used taxpayer money for all sorts of other personal benefits. We're talking about extravagant trips in the security detail that will make any celebrity jealous. It's like they thought being a mayor meant having a blank check to live like a queen. But here's where it's really interesting. You know who they brought in to oversee this whole investigation, right? Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. That's right, they've called in the big guns, and Lori isn't messing around. She's uncovering financial mismanagement left and right under Henyard's administration. It's like every time they open a drawer, some more skeletons come popping out. Well, Halloween is on its way. Break out all the skeletons now. Y'all might be wondering how Tiffany's holding up with all this heat. But let me tell you, her public image is taking a beating because the people of Dalton are not happy. They're calling for accountability, demanding answers. It's like the whole town has turned against her. But can you blame them? They trusted her to lead, and instead, she's been leading them right into a financial disaster. But that's not just the regular folks who were speaking up. Local business owners and former employees are spilling to the FBI. They're confirming that they've been interviewed about Tiffany's alleged misconduct. It's like everybody's lining up to share what they know. And honey, you know they know a whole bunch. The FBI isn't playing around. Either they're using electronic surveillance as part of their investigation. That's how serious this is. They're watching Tiffany's every move, probably hoping she'll slip up and reveal even more. But this is getting even deeper. Tiffany's trying to save her own skin. She's pointing fingers at her former chief, Keith Freeman. She says she's relied on him for financial decisions. It's like she's trying to say it wasn't me, it was him. But Tiffany, when you're the mayor, the buck stops with you. You can't just pass the blame and hope it all goes away. But speaking of passing the buck, it seems Tiffany's taking the strategy to a whole new level. Instead of facing the music, she straight up disappeared. And what's happening in Dalton without its a whole mess? Tiffany has gone and pulled a vanishing act that would make David Copperfield jealous. This woman, who's been supposed to be running Dalton, has been MIA from board meetings as of late. In public appearances, we're talking about 25 meetings that she's now skipped out on. Can you imagine your boss not showing up to work for that long? You'll be fired faster than you can say unemployment. But Tiffany isn't just hiding out at home binge watching Netflix, no word on the streets. Is she selling off her personal stuff like it's a fire sale because she is flat broke, looks like Miss High Roll? His lifestyle is catching up with her, and now she's scraping together pennies just to keep the lights on. But mind you, back in Dalton, the town's falling apart faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. The village board got so fed up with Tiffany's no-show act, they went and appointed Trust Jason House as a short-term mayor. That's right, they had to bring in a substitute because the real mayor couldn't be bothered to show up. But here's the real kicker: while Tiffany's out here playing hide and seek, Dalton's drowning and dead. They're talking millions of dollars, y'all, and that holding the bag, the hardworking folks of Dalton, they're the ones stuck with the bill after Tiffany's shopping spree and fancy trips. It's like Tiffany forgot she was elected to serve the people, not herself. She's turned into what folks are calling a ghost mayor, being named, but nowhere to be found when it counts. Let me tell you, running a town is not like toasting a bad Tinder day. You can't just leave people on red when they're counting on you to keep their town running. And while Tiffany's busy playing Where's Waldo with her constituents, the people of Dalton are left scratching their heads. They're wondering how they ended up with the mayor, who's more interested in dodging responsibility than facing the music. It's like they elected a magician whose final trick was making herself disappear. But this isn't a magic show, y'all. This is real life with real consequences. While Tiffany's off doing God knows what, Dalton stuck in limbo. No leadership, no direction, just a whole lot of questions in a mountain of dead. It's like the captain jumped ship in the middle of the storm, leaving everybody else to figure out how to steer. You'll think Tiffany's taking a break from the drama. Think again. While Tom's struggling to keep the lights on, your girl's been cooking up a whole new mess. Let me tell you, it's a doozy. She's not just running from her problems, she's trying to pin them on everybody else. First up on Tiffany's blame game roster, her former chief aide Keith Freeman. She's singing like a canary, saying she relied on him for all those financial decisions that got her in hot water. It's like she's trying to tell us she was just a puppet and Freeman was the one pulling all the strings. But Tiffany, when you're the mayor, you can't just say, "Oops, it wasn't me," and expect everyone to buy it. But Freeman isn't the only one in Tiffany's crosshairs. She's got lawsuits paying up faster than dirty laundry, and each one is spilling more teeth in a Boston Harbor party. We're talking wrongful termination, retaliation, the works. It's like she was running Dalton like her personal kingdom, and anyone who didn't bow down got the One former HR manager claims she got fired for refusing to hide public records. Another employee says he got the boot for not playing along with the scheme to replace a school attorney. It's like working for Tiffany was a game name of do what I say or hit the highway. But it got even messier. Tiffany wasn't just bullying her employees allegedly. No, she was allegedly going after business owners who didn't support her either. One by Lawrence Gardner says the Dawson police harassed him and yanked his business license just because he wouldn't donate to one of Tiffany's events. Talk about a shakedown. Now remember, all that money Tiffany was throwing around, turns out a lot of it wasn't even hers to begin with. She was borrowing it left and right now. Those chickens are definitely coming home to roost, and they want that money. People are filing lawsuits left and right trying to get their money back. It's like Tiffany thought she was running a Ponzi scheme instead of a town. But here's where it gets really wild. Tiffany didn't just borrow money from people. No, she went and used city infrastructure as collateral. That's right, she put up public property to secure her loans, which is crazy to think because the infrastructures weren't hers to begin with. And now those creditors are knocking on Dolan's door, looking to seize the infrastructure to get their money back. And all this mess has got the Fed sniffing, and Tiffany's old pal Keith Freeman, well, he's ready to tell and bear it all to the investigators. Looks like Tiffany's plan to throw him under the bus just backfired, because Freeman is allegedly cooperating, and who knows what other skeletons might come dancing out of Tiffany's closet wearing her designer clothes. Yo, just when you thought that Tiffany couldn't sink any lower, she's gone and pulled the most desperate move yet. What she's doing now, that's got everybody's jaws on the floor. Brace yourself, cause your girl is shaking the table. She started herself a GoFundMe page. That's right, the same woman who was throwing around taxpayer money like it was confetti is now begging for cash online. Can you believe the nerve of this lady? After all that lavish spending, the fancy trips, the security detail fit for a queen, Tiffany's now asking regular folks to open their wallets for her needs to try to get a refund for her $119,000 welcome banners and her Vegas getaways. But let me tell you, the people adult and are not having it. They're not just mad now, they're laughing at her. I mean, how did she go from living large like Kim Kardashian to asking for handouts? Make it make sense. All those millions, not once did she think to invest or save or help put it under her mattress, because now she's expecting the public to bail her out again. It's like she forgot about all that mess she left behind and thought folks were just lying to give her more money. You might be wondering, is this GoFundMe thing for real? Is Tiffany really that broke? Or is this just another one of our schemes? Cause let's be real, this woman's got a track record for pulling fast ones. Talk about a hustler now. Some folks are saying this is just Tiffany's way of trying to scam the public one last time before she disappears again. They're thinking she'll collect whatever money she can, and then poof, she'll be gone faster than you can say, "Where is the mayor?" But you know what, they might be on to something, cause think about it, Tiffany's been MIA for how long now? Allegedly, she's been about 25 board meetings and sold off her personal stuff, and now she's begging for money online. It looks like she's ready to skip town and leave Dalton holding the bag again. But now the people are scratching their heads like, how did Tiffany go from living like a Kardashian to send up big GoFundMe that fast? It's like she went from penance to palace overnight, and folks are starting to wonder if there's even more to the story that meets the eye. Some saying this gun me son is just Tiffany's way of trying to garner sympathy. You know, play the victim card and hope people will forget about all this shady stuff that she's been up to. But honey, the people of Dalton have long memories, and they ain't about to let Tiffany off the hook like that. Let's not forget, while Tiffany's out here trying to drum up sympathy dollars, Dalton's still drowning in debt. Heck, Dalton needs to GoFundMe because the police department's cars are about to be repossessed. The fire department hasn't had a contract in years, and the town's credit shot. But sure, Tiffany, tell us again how you need their money again. It's like Tiffany's living her own little world where actions don't have consequences, cause she spent years treating Dalton like her personal piggy bank. And now this has all come crashing down, and she thinks she can just ask for a do-over. That's not how this works, and people are starting to wonder, is this GoFundMe thing Tiffany's way of trying to pay back all the money she owes? Cause remember, she's got creditors coming after her left and right. Or is this just her trying to fund her next disappearing act? Let's be real, Tiffany's got a talent for vanishing when things get tough. But the wildest part about this is that even after all this mess she's made, she's managed to raise about $155,000 for her GoFundMe. Turns out some folks are still falling for her act. Y'all must be made of money, cause ain't no way she need to do a talent show. She need to do something to get this money back. But let's be real, $155,000 is not going to make a dent in the millions that Tiffany owes. It's like trying to put out a wildfire with a water pistol. And while she's busy collecting pennies online, the people of Dalton are still dealing with the fallout from her reign. And you know, the fans have been all over it. They believe in comments saying she seems to be arrogant and into the lavish lifestyle. True leaders don't talk down to people. Her ego is super inflated. Someone needs to pop it for her. She does it cause she can and will continue to do it. Anyone that thinks the feds will do anything is crazy. She checks so many diversity boxes. There's no way she'll be stopped. Oh, she's a Democrat too, so there's that. And this is what black privilege looks like. She knows that because she's a black woman, that she's in a special protected class. She's already embezzled what looks like millions of dollars. This is crazy, honestly. I don't know who to believe. Are they setting Tiffany up, or is Tiffany out here doing the most? Drop your